Hey everybody, Ross here, and this is Bible Study Silverstar. If this is your first time on this channel, click here to go back to the intro, or if you'd rather just see what's been going on recently, click here to go back to Genesis 47. Now, without further ado, I'm just going to jump right on into Genesis 48, verse 1. Now it came to pass, after these things, that Joseph was told, Indeed, your father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And Jacob was told, Look, your son Joseph is coming to you. And Israel strengthened himself, and sat up on the bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful, and multiply you, and I will make of you a multitude of people, and give this land to your descendants after you, as an everlasting possession. And now your two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born to you in the land of Egypt, before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. Your offspring, whom you beget after them, shall be yours. They will be called by the name of their brothers in the land in their inheritance. But as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died beside me in the land of Canaan on the way, and there was but a little distance to go to Ephrath. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, that is, Bethlehem. And Israel saw Joseph's sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me in this place. And he said, Please bring them to me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim with age, so that he could not see. Then Joseph brought them near him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, I had not thought to see your face, but in fact, God has also shown me your offspring. So Joseph brought them from beside his knees, and he bowed down with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and he brought them near him. Then Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hand knowingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has fed me all my life long to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads. Let my name be named upon them, and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand on the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. So he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his hand. But his father refused, and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, By you Israel will bless, saying, May God make you as Ephraim and Manasseh. And thus he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am dying, but God will be with you, and bring you back to the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to you one portion above your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite with my sword and my bow. first thing that jumps out at me here is the change in Jacob's demeanor. Instead of his usual jaded pessimism, he speaks of God's blessing upon his life, provision, his full adoption of Joseph's two sons, and God's redemption. Notice in verse 1, Joseph addresses his sons from older to younger, which was customary. Jacob, on the other hand, addressed them from younger to older from the get-go. Then he crossed his hands during their blessing to further put Ephraim before Manasseh. When Joseph tried to correct the supposed mistake, Jacob assures him the gesture was intentional. This shows that the intent was always to put the younger before the older, at least in the cases of Jacob and Esau and Ephraim and Manasseh. Now, Jacob's adoption of Ephraim and Manasseh was so complete that he says they were no longer Joseph's sons, but his own. In this way, he gave his two favorite sons, Joseph and Benjamin, the children born to him by Rachel, 3 tribes instead of 2. Now, verse 20 says, "By you Israel will bless, saying, May God make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh." What does this mean? We find their meanings in Genesis 41, 51, and 52, which says, Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. So to say, may God make you as Ephraim and Manasseh, is to really say, may God cause you to be fruitful where you are, and to forget the pain of your past. There's a lot of Christians today that could use that blessing. I wish that would be a good outro to these videos. And finally, Jacob ends the chapter by proclaiming his impending death with great composure and telling of God's promise to bring Israel back up out of Egypt to Canaan. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. May God make you as Ephraim and Manasseh, to be fruitful where you are, and to forget the pain of your past. If you have any comments, feedback, or suggestions, leave them down below in a video response or in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all soon in Genesis 49.